I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap. Okay, so one of my loyal and regular and faithful subscribers asked me if I could give him some details on this wheel arrangement, how this works. And I will admit that when I first looked at it, watching other people do it, it was kind of confusing. You sit there and scratch your head a while. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you my dimensions, so if for no other reason you couldn't design your own, you can duplicate my measurements and get it exact. Now, first thing is that 2x4 right there. Move, Sadie. The bottom of that 2x4 is 5 3/4 inches off the bottom down here. 5 3/4 inches. The center hole, or the hole here for the center of my axle, is 3 inches from the bottom of my 2x4. My pivot point is 12 inches from the bottom of my 2x4. Okay? Now, the reason I went 3 inches off the bottom there is because the center of this wheel is 5. So I've still got 2 inches to spare out here between the bottom of this tire and the bottom of that 2x4. A person could move down a little bit further. However, I didn't want my 2x4 splitting on me. I could make this out of metal, but I just used what I had and just throwing it together, doing it cheap, whatever. My axle is a 5/8 inch bolt, and these bolts are 5 inches long. It's hard to see there, but I double nutted back here on the end of the bolt. That's double nutted. The bolt goes in from this side with no washer here. I've got a washer between the wheel and this 2x4, and then I've got a washer on the back and 2 nuts. And this one right here is double nutted also. The reason you double nut it, you lock them nuts against each other, and it guarantees your spacing. It won't get looser, it won't get tighter. Now, I had originally had this in a different spot, and it just wasn't working right for me. I had my little angle here, made it nice and pretty for it to lay against. I said, screw it. Anyway, it just worked out that at 5 3/4 off the bottom, and by the way, all these bolts are in the center of the 2x4s, that when I raise this up, now you see I get quite a bit up off the ground right here. Heck, that thing's right at 6 inches off the ground. And let me verify this right here. That's pretty close to 6 inches. 5 3/4, 6 inches, ain't gonna matter. However, if I just left it vertical, I'd have to put some kind of pin in here. So it's easier for me to just go beyond the vertical point, and then that locks it in place. Now, if I try to push this direction, if I was in real tall grass or something, it would try to come back off of the height. If I had to do all over again, this 2x4 right here would be about 4.5 foot. That way I'd have more leverage. It wouldn't be as hard on me to raise this up. Especially if later on I put nesting boxes on here. I also wanted my wheels close to the center of gravity so that this thing would be easy to move around, and I wouldn't have to have more wheels back here. When the grass was real deep, I was considering getting a tongue jack and putting it on the end out here just to help hold it up, but now that I'm in somewhat mowed grass, man, this thing rolls nice. So I hope that answers your question. Real simple. Sometimes we look at things and we make it more difficult than it really is. The important thing is, once you've got it up off the ground, you want it to go beyond that point. And the reason I've got my block up here is because I can't lower my wheel, and with this block being down here, to interfere with it. So that's why I got that piece there. Of course, a person didn't have to do this. I could have used a bolt stick through the hole, but then that's messing with it, monkeying with it. This is a lot easier. So I hope that answered your question. I will tell you about these little Harbor Freight tires and wheels. The tire itself is a little cheap plastic thing. I mean, it is sure enough thin. And I had a flat on one of these where I actually drove over the stalk of a weed or something, you know, punctured it. And I mean, this is puny a tire as you can get. If you could get a better tire to put on that wheel, it'd be great. But in a couple of months I've been out here, I've only had one flat, so I can't complain. What do you want, huh? You silly thing. Well, y'all have a wonderful day and a better